Listen strong. It's Superhuman Radio.
This is a Superhuman Radio exclusive. I had the opportunity to interview Toyin Yakubu, who is a PhD student at the University of Llorin in Llorin, Nigeria. And he recently had a scientific paper published in December in the Asian Journal of Andrology detailing his studies on an extract used in Nigeria as a natural treatment for erectile dysfunction. What he discovered is that the extract elevates natural testosterone levels in a dose-dependent manner up to 600%. This is very, very exciting. This is not something that's available currently here in the United States, but I hope that people who are listening in the supplement industry will research it and perhaps bring it here. I spoke to him at his lab at the University of Llorin, so the interview is pre-recorded.
Hello, Toyin. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hello, Carl. Thank you very much.
So, first of all, for our listeners, Toyin, why don't you tell them a little bit about your area of study at the University of Llorin?
Yeah. My area of study at the University of Llorin is biochemical toxicology with emphasis on medicinal plants that has aphrodisiac properties used locally within the country here.
Okay. And now, why don't you talk a little bit about your recent scientific paper that was published in the Asian Journal of Andrology?
Okay, my recent paper that was published in Asian Journal of Andrology has to do with exploring the potential, the aphrodisiac potential of one of the plants which is commonly used around here to manage sexual dysfunction problems, most especially erectile dysfunction. The plant is Fadogia agrestis, and I tried as much as possible to try to lend scientific credence to the aphrodisiac potentials of Fadogia agrestis stem, and found that this plant is indeed possess aphrodisiac properties and that is capable of increasing serum testosterone concentration for the 5-day period monitored.
Okay. Now, how long has Fadogia agrestis been used in Nigeria as a treatment, a natural treatment for erectile dysfunction?
Well, it has been used for several years. I just picked interest of recent when I had to do a PhD study.
And is this a plant or a botanical? Is it a bush? Is it a shrub? What exactly is it?
It's exactly a shrub with about 1 to 3 feet tall.
And does it grow wild in the surrounding areas there in Nigeria?
It is found in the northern part of the country.
In the northern part of the country?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of preparation did you have to use in order to extract the active ingredients from the Fadogia?
Well, the preparation I had to use basically was to get the plant oven dried it at about 40 degrees Celsius, after which I now grinded it up into powder form. So it was from this powder form I extracted the active principle before concentrating it and then make my final, the required doses which I needed.
Is the whole plant a candidate for creating the active, or just specific parts of the plant?
The stem, precisely, the stem.
Just the stems. Okay, very good. And once you prepared the final product, what was the active ingredient? Was it a bioflavonoid? What is the active ingredient in the Fadogia agrestis that you identified?
Okay, the active ingredient is being speculated to be saponin because of the androgen-enhancing property saponin possesses.
Now, tell the listeners a little bit about the results in the study that you did with rats between the control group and the group that was actually given the Fadogia.
All right. Yes, the results showed the phytochemical screening, let me start from there,
Sure.
showed that there is the presence of alkaloids, saponin, anthraquinones, and flavonoids. The highest among them here is the saponin, which of course was followed by the alkaloids. The percentage of the saponin in the extract, in the stem extract, was about 2.08, while that of alkaloid was 0.32, and flavonoids and anthraquinone appears to have 0.09%. So from this, it was found when the aqueous extract was administered to the male rats, it was found that there was significant increase in mount and intromission latency. So there was significant increase in mount frequency and intromission frequency, and significantly prolonged ejaculatory latency. While of course there was also reduced mount and intromission latency. All these were accompanied by increase in serum testosterone concentration.
Now, you had several groups in the study receiving different dosages based on their weight, correct?
Yeah, that is right. I grouped the animals into 4. We have group A, which was the control, and it received the vehicle, that is the distilled water.
Right.
It was given 1 ml of distilled water. That of group B received 18 milligram per kilogram body weight of the plant extract. C and D received 50 and 100 milligram per kilogram body weight respectively. And these sexual behavior parameters, which are earlier on enumerated, that is the mount frequency, intromission frequency, ejaculatory latency, mount latency, and intromission latency, were evaluated at 24 hours on days 1, 3, and 5.
And it was dose-dependent increase you saw, correct?
Yeah, most especially in the serum testosterone, there was dose-dependent increase.
So what was the range of increase? What was the lowest increase you saw on the lowest dosage and the highest increase you saw on the highest dosage?
Yes, the lowest dosage, the lowest of all the groups, that is...
that was the 18 milligrams.
Okay, the lowest was about 2.5, which of course was the control, and the highest, which was recorded on day 5, was about 23.
In the study, it indicates that the increase in serum testosterone levels went from 2-fold to 6-fold higher than baseline on a dose-dependent basis, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, you also tested for free testosterone, correct?
Yes, there was the test for free testosterone.
And was the increase in free testosterone, was it a linear increase, or was there a ratio difference between total and free testosterone increase?
Now, there was a linear increase, which is similar to what happened in the case of total testosterone concentration.
Interesting. Now, what did you determine actually caused the rise in serum testosterone levels in the rats?
Well, what was caused it could be attributed to the saponin content of the plant extract. Going by literature, it has been proved that saponin has the ability to increase the testosterone. So I begin to speculate here that the increase in serum testosterone observed in my study might, of course, be attributed to the saponin content, going by the fact again that saponin is having the highest concentration in the quantitative phytochemical screening done.
Now, the saponin actually had a direct effect on a specific component within the testicles of the rat. You had explained this to me once before. What was the mechanism of action of the Fadogia agrestis that ultimately increased testosterone levels?
Well, when it was also evaluated, because I went ahead to probe into the mechanism, and I tried to look at the cholesterol content of the testes. And it was found out that the cholesterol of the testes increased. So it is possible that one of the components of the plant extract is responsible for increasing the cholesterol content, probably working on the one of the components of the cholesterol biosynthetic pathway, which in turn is the precursor for testosterone. So the increase in cholesterol may lead to the increase in the testosterone.
As a result of the increase in testicular cholesterol, was there any indication of a rise in total serum cholesterol as well?
Yes, there was also increase in serum cholesterol.
So is it possible that there would be a point of administration that would become unhealthy because of the increased cholesterol levels to an unhealthy level?
One interesting thing about the serum lipids evaluated was that when I calculated the atherogenic index, that is an index that will give you an idea whether the plant could predispose one to atherosclerosis and its associated diseases or not. It was found that the level could not compare favorably with the control. What I mean is that the level was reduced and it was compared with the control value. So suggesting to us that it may not predispose one to atherosclerosis and its associated diseases of the heart.
Well, because that's obviously very important to anyone who would consider using this as a supplement. Now, is there any toxicity to the Fadogia agressus?
Yes. The toxicity that was observed was on the enzyme. And when I conducted the recovery period for 10 days, because I had to do a recovery test, could the animals recover? What I did was I administered the extract again for a period of 28 days, and thereafter left some animals untreated, unadministered with anything for another 10 days to allow them recover. It was found that there was recovery evidence in all the enzymes and other biomolecules monitored, most especially at the doses of 18 and 50. And besides, histological examination only showed that there was mild tubular distortion in the testes alone amongst all the other organs evaluated. So that confirms to me that even the toxicity may be mild and transient.
Now, when the animals were allowed to wash out and they were given time to allow the body to recover from the experiment, did their testosterone levels go back to the normal baselines that they were prior to the experiment?
Yes, the testosterone level reverted, but not completely. There was reversion to at the doses of 18 and 50, but that of the 100 milligram per kilogram body weight, there was not complete reversion back to normal at the 10 days recovery period.
Is it possible that by forcing the testes to produce such a high level of testosterone that the Leydig cells may have been compromised?
Well, it is likely that they must have increased the functional capacity of the Leydig cells.
Do you have any studies planned for the Fadogia agressus next?
Well, the plan ahead now is to go ahead and get the active principle precisely now, the active principle, and carry out about the same study again. And then I will be able to pin it completely that, yes, it is this active principle that is involved in doing this work.
So you're going to isolate the saponin, the alkaloids, the bioflavonoids, you're going to isolate them, and you're going to perform the same type of a study, but using the isolates to see which active ingredient is actually causing the increase in serum testosterone?
Yes, that's right. That's the next step now in the study.
Now, when do you expect that you'll launch the next study?
Well, probably in the next couple of months or thereabout.
Who's funding these studies for you, Toyin?
Well, this project work is my PhD work. You know, I told you the other time that I am a student and at the same time a lecturer at the University of Llorin here in Nigeria. And one of the requirements is that you must do a PhD. So this is my own PhD work at the moment, and the funding has been done majorly by myself, and just of recent when the university awarded staff development grants.
Well, this is all very, very exciting and very interesting. Have you had many people reach out to you and want to know more about this study since it was published in December?
Yes, I've had a series of requests of the reprint article, which I have attended to them now.
Yeah, I would imagine so, especially with there's a current rise in the desire for anti-aging type medicines, of which testosterone therapy has become one of the focal hormones for men. And naturally, it's always best if you could make your own body produce it as opposed to taking an exogenous supplement. And so I would imagine that this would become very in demand once you isolate the actual component of the Fadogia that increases testosterone levels. I want to thank you very, very much for being on the show today, Toyin, and I wish you good luck with your study.
Thank you very much, Carl.
And that was Toyin Yakubu from the University of Llorin in Llorin, Nigeria. That was a pre-recorded interview. So as you can see, the Fadogia agressis extract has a phenomenal ability to increase natural testosterone levels in men, and I hope that this is going to become a supplement that we'll have available to us here in the United States.